Digital marketing is essential for almost every business today. A strong website, email marketing, social media, search visibility, and online advertising can all play important roles in attracting customers and staying connected with them. But there is a difference between using digital marketing and building your entire marketing strategy around it. For many businesses, digital has gradually become the default. Need more leads? Run an ad. Have an announcement? Post it on social media. Want to stay in touch? Send another email. The problem is that your competitors are doing exactly the same thing. Digital marketing is no longer the differentiator. It is simply part of the environment in which every business operates. Your customers are surrounded by digital messages. Think about how many marketing messages the average person encounters during a normal day. Emails arrive throughout the morning. Search results contain sponsored listings. Websites display ads. Social media feeds are filled with promoted posts. Apps send notifications. Text messages compete for attention. Your business may have created an excellent message, but that message still has to compete with everything else appearing on the same screen. That creates a fundamental challenge. Being present online does not necessarily mean being noticed. Businesses often respond by producing more content, sending more emails, or increasing advertising frequency. Sometimes that works. But simply adding more messages to an already crowded environment is not always the best solution. Marketing should create more than clicks. Digital marketing naturally encourages us to focus on measurable actions. Clicks, views, impressions, opens, followers, website traffic. Those metrics can be useful, but they can also narrow the way we think about marketing. Not every valuable interaction immediately produces a click. Marketing can also build familiarity, recognition, trust, and preference over time. Someone may encounter your company several times before they ever visit your website or contact you. That is why a strong marketing strategy should look beyond individual digital metrics and consider the larger question: are people actually becoming more familiar with your business and more likely to choose you? A campaign can generate plenty of activity without necessarily creating meaningful brand recognition. You don't control most digital platforms. There is another weakness in relying too heavily on digital marketing. Much of it happens on platforms you do not control. Search algorithms change. Social media reach changes. Advertising costs change. Email filters become more aggressive. Platforms introduce new rules, formats, and priorities. A strategy that performs well today may require significant adjustments 6 months from now. That does not mean businesses should avoid these platforms. They provide access to audiences that would otherwise be difficult to reach. But your entire marketing strategy should not depend on one algorithm, one social network, or one source of website traffic. The more diverse your marketing presence becomes, the less vulnerable you are to changes in any individual channel. Familiarity usually comes from multiple touchpoints. Think about the businesses you recognize immediately. Chances are, you did not become familiar with them because you saw one social media post or clicked one advertisement. You probably encountered them repeatedly. You saw their website, heard someone mention them, noticed their name around town, received an email, saw their signage, encountered their employees, read a review, saw their logo again somewhere else. Each interaction contributed a small piece to your overall impression. That is how marketing often works in the real world. Customers move between channels constantly. They may first learn about a business offline and research it online. They may see an online ad and recognize the company later somewhere else. They may follow a company on social media for months before finally having a reason to contact them. Marketing becomes more powerful when those individual touchpoints reinforce one another. Your brand needs a life outside the feed. One of the biggest challenges businesses face today is becoming memorable. A social media feed is temporary by design. Content appears, receives attention briefly, and is replaced by something else. Email works in much the same way. Today's message quickly moves farther down the inbox. That means businesses need to think beyond simply producing a steady stream of digital content. Where else does your brand exist? Do customers encounter you in their community? Do they see your brand through events, partnerships, sponsorships, or networking? Do your sales materials reinforce what they see online? Does the experience of interacting with your company match the image your website presents? Does your marketing give people multiple opportunities to remember who you are? The strongest brands are not confined to a browser window or social media feed. They create a consistent presence wherever customers encounter them. More channels aren't necessarily the answer. The solution is not simply to add every available form of marketing. A business using 10 disconnected channels does not necessarily have a better strategy than one using 3. The real goal is integration. Your website, email marketing, social media, advertising, community presence, sales efforts, and physical marketing should all feel like parts of the same organization. They should communicate similar ideas. They should look and sound consistent. Most importantly, they should support the same business objectives. When marketing becomes fragmented, customers see individual messages. When marketing is coordinated, customers begin to recognize a brand. Start with the customer, not the platform. One of the easiest marketing traps is starting with the channel. What should we post on LinkedIn? Should we advertise on Google? Should we start sending more emails? Those may eventually be the right questions, but they should not be the first ones. Start instead with, who are we trying to reach? What problem are we helping them solve? Why should they choose us? Where are they most likely to encounter us? What would make our company more recognizable and memorable to them? Once those questions are answered, choosing marketing channels becomes much easier. Sometimes digital will do most of the work. Other times, the strongest strategy will combine digital marketing with sales outreach, networking, events, community involvement, printed materials, direct mail, promotional products, or other ways of creating real-world visibility. The mix should follow the strategy, not the other way around. Digital is part of the strategy, not the strategy itself. Digital marketing is not going anywhere, nor should it. Businesses need good websites. They need to be discoverable online. Email remains an important communication tool. Social media provides opportunities to connect with customers. Digital advertising can put a message in front of very specific audiences. But none of those tools should exist in isolation. The most effective marketing happens when customers encounter a consistent business across multiple places and multiple moments. That is the bigger opportunity. Instead of asking how you can do more digital marketing, it may be worth asking a different question. How can you build a marketing presence that people notice, remember, and trust wherever they encounter your business?